everyone. It's Emily Williams here, the founder of I Heart My Life, and this is the I Heart My Life show. Now, today we're in for a treat. We have the incredible Laura Belgray, so I'm going to share a little bit of information about her, and then we're going to dive right in. So Laura is the founder of Talking Shrimp and the co-creator of The Copy Cure. She's a copywriting expert who helps entrepreneurs find the perfect words to express and sell what they do. Through her work with hundreds of clients, including online biggies like Marie Forleo and Amy Porterfield, she's seen firsthand that putting you into your copy is pure magic for getting people to love you up, share your ideas, and happily click your buy button. In addition to online types, Laura's list of clients and credits include NBC, Bravo, HBO, TBS, and many, many more. So welcome, Laura. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I am thrilled to be here.
Yes. So I've known you for a few years, and you're someone who's always been just such a delight to know online, but also I love reading your emails because they're always hilarious. And obviously that's the work that you do. So we're going to get into that in a second. But I'd love to know a little bit more about your story, because even though I've known you for a while, I don't think I know your background and what really led you to doing this work.
It's funny. I'm also always so fascinated to find out how people got into this weird little world of like online entrepreneurs, and it's such a mixed bag of professions and people, and none of us know what to call it. But so this little world, I found my way to it via Marie Forleo, like a lot of people, but in a different way. So I was initially a copywriter for TV promos. So I worked for networks like the ones you mentioned, like mostly for Nick at Night and Nickelodeon and TV Land. That was my home base, and I did that for years and years and years. And it's a great job. I mean, it was everything I ever wanted. When I started out, I was like, I want to be a writer, but I don't know what I want to do. But something with TV, but I don't want to write TV shows. And so when I heard that there was a job writing like short little things that they show in between the shows, that advertise the shows, I was like, that is my job.
Can you give me an example?
Okay, for instance, one of my favorite ones that I've written in the past couple of years is for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And it shows the housewives like Lisa Vanderpump, etc., walking through Beverly Hills, and like wherever they go, things start to freeze around them. Like a martini turns to ice. Lisa steps out of a limo and the puddle turns to ice. So it's all, and they're like wearing wintry clothes and the wind is blowing. And then the words come up on the screen. The text comes up and it says, sometimes sunny Beverly Hills can be a cold, cold place. So that's just one example of a promo. Sometimes they're clip based, sometimes they're like a whole shoot, which that one was. So that was like such a fun job. But like with anything, like if you do it for enough years, you get into a rut. Like I've been doing this for so long, and I'd seen from the very beginning that there was a danger of becoming complacent there. And it so happened when I was really feeling this rut, and like, I've got to do there's something more that I can do with my writing. I don't know what it is, but I want to do something bigger. And I didn't know if it was a novel or what. Around this time, I reconnected with an old friend, Marie Forleo. And Marie, I had known since like 2003 when we were in hip hop class together at Crunch. And I hated her at first. She was just this chick in the front row who was so perfect and had bouncy hair and like just kick-ass body and hit all the moves perfectly. You know, it was always like boom cat, boom cat. And I was just like, oh God, she's here again. And I don't even want to look at her. And then it turned out she was really nice. Like she started talking to me one day and I was like, oh God, now I have to like her. And she was like hustling at the time, life coaching and bartending. I knew that she was a bartender and looking for more bartending gigs. So I hooked her up with a bartending gig in the restaurant my husband was opening then, called Lever House. And we became good friends. We started walking home together from Crunch, me all like dripping with sweat, and her with her like bouncy ponytail, looking incredible. We just get like she would get cruised all the way home. And we fell out of touch for a couple of years. And yeah, around 2007, 2008, when I was really feeling this rut, and I had just gotten married in 2007, and that was great, but the excitement of the wedding was like over, and I'm like, now my life is still the same, and I'm doing the same thing that I've been doing for years and years. Marie called me or emailed me out of the blue saying like, hey, I go to this thing every Monday night. What are you doing Monday night? And I was like, I don't know why. And she's like, I go to this workshop and I think you might be interested. And like, it's just about having a better life. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. It sounded a little woo-woo weird to me. But I went with her and I ended up joining this kind of boutique cult that she was in. And I was in it with her for a couple of years. And it didn't turn out to be the right place or thing for me, but it kind of opened up this world of like self-discovery, self-development, understanding that like, you can improve your life. And I became closer with Marie going there. Like we became really close and did a lot of stuff together. And she was just starting to really build her business. She was launching online courses, which I'd never heard of. I remember telling my husband, I was like, get this, Marie Forleo has this program that she does over the phone to a group of people, and they all sign up for like $1,000, and she got like 25 of them, and it's a month long, and she's making $25,000. And he was like, for what? And I know, but it sounds really cool.
And this was just back in 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
Wow.
And then she started this program. So I think that was called like Live in the Moment Booty Camp.
I know that. That changed my life.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, it was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if it sounded a little goofy to me. But then she started one called, and also I felt like she's my friend, so I don't want to join her program. That's weird to mix friendship and business. Or it was just, I think there was a pride thing too. I'm like, I don't want to join my friend's thing. I don't need her. I don't need her to help me. And then she opened this program called Virtual Mastery. And this was back when you didn't have to specify anything. It was just virtual mastery and what? Who cares? It's mastery. Join up. And it was like, I think maybe a 6-month program or something like that. And I knew people who were joining from our old cult, which we had left. And I said to her, I was like, do you think I should join your program? Like, I want to do something bigger in my business, and I don't know what. And she was like, shush, yes, of course you should. So I joined her program and got into like helping people with their copy and the comments. These were people starting businesses. And I was like, oh my God, this copy could be so much better. This website copy is terrible. Like, people don't know how to write like they talk at all. And so I would just comment and help them out. And that's when Marie first noticed me really professionally. She knew what I did. She knew that I wrote for TV. She thought I was funny, but she'd never seen any of my work. And she asked me to speak at her first conference, which was just a small thing called Rich, Happy, and Hot Live.
Yeah.
And this is when she started Rich, Happy, and Hot, like, which was a mastermind. And so she said, would you get in front of people and talk about copywriting? And I said, sure. And so I put together a talk. I'd never done any public speaking before. And it was to like 75 people in Soho House in the library. Wow. And after doing that talk, a few people came up to me and said, do you write website copy? Like, can you help me with my copy? I was like, sure, I can do that. I wasn't really looking to get out of promo writing or anything, but I was like, oh, sure, I'll take on some extra projects. And I had also just put up my website with Marie's suggestion, it was just going to be to host my TV reel to get more TV clients. And Marie said, "You're going to have a blog, right?" And I was like, "But it's 2009. Isn't it too late to have a blog?" I was like, "Oh my God, no, have a blog." And she was like, "And what's your opt-in?" I said, "What's an opt-in?" And so she showed me she took out like this legal yellow pad and diagrammed for me how you make an opt-in. Like you're gonna have an offer that everybody wants, and have them fill in their email and put in their name, and then press submit, and then you send them an autoresponder. I was like, what? But she wrote it all out for me, and I put it on my site and started building a list. And so that was just the beginning of how I got into this little world. And 2010, I happened to lose a ginormous contract, my main contract in TV. It was a 6-figure contract, and I thought it was just going to go on forever. But my boss called me in for a meeting, and I was like, "Oh, you want to discuss those ideas for the Betty White thing?" And she was like, "No, close the door." Oh. And she told me that they weren't going to need me anymore. And so I was devastated.
Yeah,
I was I'm like, this was my bread and butter. I just lost my job essentially. And I cried over it for a while, but I realized, I'm like, people have been asking to work with me, have been asking for my help with their websites and stuff. Maybe I just put up some packages on my site. And I had a tiny list of a couple hundred people. I put up packages, told them I was available, and people started coming and signing up for my site. And I was like, "Oh my God, you put things online and people buy them." Holy crap.
I thought, yeah.
Yeah. And that year I made up the amount of money that I had lost from that contract.
Wow. I'm just going to pause you right here. That's such an amazing story, and I'm so glad I asked, because I've been curious for a while, and I do feel like everyone has this I Heart My Life story, for lack of a better phrase, and there are some pivotal moments in there that I really, really resonate with. Back in 2013, my best friend sent me a link to Marie's website, and she just said, "I thought you'd like this." And then from there, everything started to change for me, and I realized I could actually be a coach that was like Marie, not like a stuffy man in a suit carrying a 3-ring binder. And, everything started to happen for me as well. And when I enrolled in B school, she gave us the Living in the Moment audio as like the freebie, and so I listened to that on repeat, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, James, she has her boyfriend working with her, and Josh is on these calls, and you could do trainings," and like it was just the start of so much for us. And so I really resonate with your story and how everything kind of just starts to happen, and sometimes there are like these little nudges and whispers, and it's up to you to just follow that.
Yeah. And isn't it also amazing how we're so surrounded by people who do what we do and do similar things and have been immersed in this stuff. We forget that there are people like us, like we were out there, who've never heard of any of it.
I know. I've still had people say, "What is coaching?" to me, and that blows my mind. I think everyone is like a coach.
You think everybody and their mother is a coach, and then you meet someone who said, "What's a coach?"
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, virgins.
Yes. I love it. And one thing I want to point out, so I was totally looking at your Instagram the other day, and I saw you put up this dancing video, and I was so jealous of you because I am not a dancer, and I'm not a confident dancer, and I could never put a video up of me dancing. So now, the roles have been reversed here. Now you're the girl who I'm jealous of, and I know that you felt that way about Marie. But we'll come back to that in a second. So you said in 2010, people started buying your program. So tell us a little bit more what happened from there.
Yeah, well, they were buying my services. I didn't have a
program
at all. Yeah. And slowly but surely, that started to become my main business. And I started to focus on those people more. However, I've been this way for a while, still confused about what do I do with my list? What do I write on my blog? I just wanted my blog to be about stupid stuff like, here's a Menudo video from from
No, no, no.
1985. Doesn't it remind you of going to the mall? And, I'd write stories. I had a series called Way Back Wednesday, which I still love and still try to get back to, about stories about growing up in New York City when it was dirty and filled with perverts and muggers, and stories about my dad who insisted on calling his rain boot rubbers and embarrassed us at every turn. So I didn't really know. I felt I was resisting writing anything about business or anything actionable because that's what everyone said to do. And I'm a little bit of a rebel that way. I'm like, no, there's also value, and this is true, in entertaining someone or making them feel a certain way or showing them a different way of seeing things. I still believe that, but I wasn't yet focused on what to tell them to do and what I wanted them to do when they read my emails or my blog posts. And so recently I've finally discovered, people want to be told what to do, and they want to be given something. And I've been, I think, creating a little bit more learning for people because that is really what they want from me, and fusing it together with those stories rather than just giving them stories. I'm like, this list and this blog is for my business. So I've been developing that side of my business, and I have finally created a course with Marie Forleo. I didn't want to create my own course just because it seemed like a lot of work, and I didn't know where to start, but I wanted one. And Marie invited me to create a course with her called The Copy Cure. And although originally we were going to call it The Copy Clinic, I think, and then it turned out that was taken. It's too medical anyway.
Yeah.
But so we launched that in, I believe, 2015, and it's been going strong. And that's a big arm of my business, or at least an income stream and a focus, because I love getting people into that program, and I love just kind of improving it all the time with Marie. Like every year we get together and we're like, what can we add to this to make it more complete and really empower people to write their own copy for their own businesses and their own sites and sound like them and feel like they are expressing themselves through their business.
It's an amazing program. It's incredible. Yeah. And obviously along your journey, you also became a huge part of Marie TV. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. At some point, pretty early on, Marie asked me, I was always encouraging her to do videos. She used to write a blog. First, she started with a email newsletter called Magical Moments. Thought people would enjoy knowing that. It was like the cheesiest thing. And then when she got marieforleo.com as a domain, she started blogging just as herself, more seriously. And but it was all text, and she never did any videos. I'm like, you're so good on video in front of people. So she started making that a regular thing, and it became Marie TV. And she asked me at some point, she's like, hey, do you want to come brainstorm with me for Marie TV and just kind of come up with funny things to do in it? And I was like, yes, that is what that's what I love to do. So Marie TV became the real engine of her business. All year long, that is what she does. That's where the focus is. And we get together a couple of months of the year, 4 months maybe, and have a couple of days where we just batch episodes. We write episode after episode, and it'll be a couple of days over the course of a week or two, and crank them out and come up with tweetables and funny little sketches that she does in between, and also the lessons themselves. But my real joy is coming up with stupid things for her team to do on camera.
I love those moments as well.
Yeah, I like getting them to wear really embarrassing things like a onesie or a mankini.
What an amazing job.
Yeah.
So let's just pause here for 1 second. I want to take a quick break, and then I want to jump in with the work that you do now and really some tips that we can give some of the entrepreneurs listening in terms of their own copy.
Sounds great.
Okay, we'll be right back. Hey everyone, it's Emily Williams, the founder of I Heart My Life, and this is the I Heart My Life show. And we have the incredible writer with us, Laura Belgray. She's also an amazing entrepreneur. We've just heard about her journey, and now I'd love for her to share a little bit with all the entrepreneurs listening in terms of writing your own copy and really having that voice that stands out and connects with your audience. So, Laura, I know that you mentioned before the break that there was a turning point for you where you were writing certain pieces on your blog that were a bit more personal or things about the past. And then you started focusing on some tangible tips and tools for your audience. So can you tell me a little bit more about the transition? Because for me personally, although I work with entrepreneurs, I'm actually far more inspired by personal pieces, and that's what I like writing. So it's really challenging for me to write a list of to-dos in terms of setting up a sales funnel or creating your first opt-in. I can put that into a module, but when it comes to my emails, I like them to be more personal. So I'd love to hear your opinion and also how you made the shift into writing a bit more tangible pieces.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I do still put an emphasis on keeping it personal.
Okay.
I'll never write anything that doesn't have a personal touch, some sort of personal element or story to go with it. And I'm also all for sharing just a story. But I think with this crowd, with people looking to improve in some way or walk away with something, they look for takeaways. You kind of have to tie it to something at the end. It might just be, let me know let me know your reaction. Has this ever happened to you? Let me know in the comments. But so they want something. But I think that making it personal, especially for those of us who have what you'd call a personal brand, like we're the face of the business, we are the business. I think making it personal is everything for a couple of reasons. One is, when you're expressing your personality through your business and sharing who you are, that is truly the way to make your business feel like an expression of you. It is the essence, that is the true definition of getting paid to be you. And I think it really sucks when you feel like you have a disconnect between who you are and the business. When you're like, this is my business, and the business is essentially wearing a power suit and carrying a briefcase.
Yeah.
And you're like, and this is me, and they have nothing to do with each other. So being able to tell your stories and use your voice, your language, and talk through your business the way you would to a friend is really important for feeling that alignment with your business and feeling like it is who you are and feeling proud of it and feeling excited about it. So that's one thing, is that alignment between yourself and your business. The other is it makes you knowable to other people. It's compelling. First of all, it draws the people who you're meant to draw in, like your ideal clients or customers, because they'll say, oh my gosh, me too. You hate Game of Thrones, I can't get into it either. Or like, you eat too much ice cream, me too. Actually, I eat too many tacos, but same thing. When people get you, they flock to you, the right people. And so that's really important, to have the right people, to pull in the right people to your business. So those are the people you end up working with, and who are attracted to your offers and want to talk about you.
My thing is pizza. You just made me think about pizza. I think I'm gonna have to order that tonight.
Oh, definitely. Have some pizza. I'm a pasta person. I go for the spaghetti over the pizza. But we can get along.
Yeah, I like both.
Yeah. So it makes you knowable. And I think we've probably all heard the phrase, we buy from people we know, like, and trust. And so continually communicating with people in your business, with your list, with your audience, and expressing yourself again and again, and showing them the details of your life and letting them in, is such a great way to get them to feel like they know you, even if they've never met you. And so that feeling of knowing you makes them want to buy from you, and it also keeps you top of mind. So if someone said to them, do you know of a copywriter? They'd say, oh yeah, Laura Belgray, because even if they've never met me, they feel like they know me. You're going to recommend someone you know. Like, yeah, I know someone. So
Right.
it's about being knowable.
I remember I heard Ryan Lee speak at Selena Sue's event. I think you were there as well. And he was talking about character development. And that really stood out to me. He said it's like you're a character in a TV show and people want to follow you. They want to know your boyfriend's name and your dog's name and your favorite food because that builds that connection.
Exactly. It really does. And don't you ever see, like, have you ever spotted a celebrity on the street? And like someone you've seen on TV or in a movie and like kind of smile at them and nod. Like, I know you, and you realize they have no idea who you are, but you think you know them.
Right.
Because you know these things about them. And
or you're convinced, like I'm convinced Reese Witherspoon could be my best friend, but never met her.
Right. I feel that way about like Mindy Kaling.
Yes.
So if I saw her on the street, I'd be like, hey, oh, you don't know me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that Ryan Lee talk, by the way. It
was amazing.
It struck a chord with me and made me think, like, that's what I love to talk about too. So I was like, damn, he took my thing. But really he didn't. Like, it's another topic, but it's great to remember that there is nothing new to say. You are going to say the same thing as somebody else. Like, whatever you have to say, someone else has already said, but they haven't said it the same way you would, and they haven't said it to the same people you will. And some people need to hear it from you, not from that other person. So some people in that audience will like not have connected with Ryan Lee. They'd be like, you know, who's this guy? Or he was talking about different TV shows that I got. He was like, who here knows, like, you know, when you think of a red hat, who do you think of? And I was like, Gilligan's Island. And I was the only person. I was like, Gilla-who?
Yeah. I used to watch that. Yeah, no, I hear you. And I'm so glad you said that because I have so many clients. A lot of my clients are new coaches and they get this feeling that they're not going to be able to say something new, or there's going to be like this imposter syndrome that they always feel, or they're just never going to be able to stand out from the crowd. And I believe that everyone does have a unique story and a unique way of sharing what they have to say with the world. And there are certain people who will resonate with me and then people who won't. And I really believe that there is a space for everyone.
It completely. And that's why it is so important to share who you are and share your personality. So people feel like they're hearing that message from someone they know. And that's when it hits home. That's when it lands.
And when they remember you. Yeah. And one of the things that you said that I really loved is that example of a way in which you could give something tangible or a takeaway, but still keep the personality of the email and keep the personal vibe there. So do you have any other examples that people could insert into their copy or emails to really give people tangible takeaways? It's
funny. If you look through my, like, nothing's coming to mind top of it, something will. But if you look through my Instagram feed, that is where I work segues the most. I'm all about the like classy, smooth segue. Sometimes it's a clunky segue and ridiculous, but I will write these. I write stories in the captions. It's kind of a micro blog for me, and I will always connect it to a call to action. Somebody coached me. These two women from it's called Social Brand School. They coached me on how to do Instagram for business, and they were like, always have a call to action, like in every post. And it's very tempting and easy not to. Most people don't. You just put up a picture and say, like, this is me, like, this is 40, or, you know, Sunday vibes.
Sunday vibes. I'm guilty of that one.
You're right. But if you say Sunday vibes, you want to like engage your audience. So you might say, like, you know, what gives you Sunday vibes? Or it might be, want to feel Sunday vibes every day of the week. The first step is having a business that feels like a weekend. Go here, sign up for my tips for a business that feels like a weekend. I just made that up.
I love that. So cool. Yeah. So it could be something that encourages a comment or interaction and builds that relationship, or it could literally be go check out a program or a free opt-in or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't always have to be an offer. It doesn't always have to be a sale. It shouldn't always be a sale. Yeah. In getting them to engage is probably the most regular thing that you should do. It trains them to engage with you, and it makes them feel like they have a real relationship with you.
Yeah. And what do you feel? So I know one of the biggest issues, or at least I've heard that it's an issue, is open rates for people in terms of their email list and getting people to actually read their material and to engage. Do you find that that's an issue, or do you think that that's a myth?
Oh, I think it is both. It's an issue and it's a myth. It's a myth that email is dead. It's a myth that you can't get people to open it anymore. Email is so powerful. It is the most powerful social media tool we have right now. Like, you want to compare the open rates to how many people scroll through their Facebook feed and see and stop and actually look at your post and comment on it. The email rates, open rates are going to be so much higher. And I think it can be tough to get people to open your emails if you don't know how to write fun, compelling, curiosity-provoking subject lines. That's what you need to, that is one thing that's key to work on. You really want to get people to say, okay, you want it to pop in their inbox and get them to say, I have to know what that's about, and open it. And you have to write emails that make them want to open your other emails. So eventually, if you build a certain kind of trust with your audience, eventually people who've been around for a little while will open anything you send them, no matter what the subject line. But there's always someone new. So you have to keep working on the subject lines, always put work into those, and step back from them and say, would I open that?
I love that tip. Would I open that? And thinking about it, like, it's not just about one email. It's about continuing to build that relationship and really engaging with your audience. So, obviously we want to have a juicy subject line, but even if it's not, they want to read what you have to write because they're connected to you.
Yeah, and I think the best way to get that feeling from them is to write emails that feel like they're an email from a friend. Or email from a bestie. I call it an EFAB. Email from a bestie. So you want yours to be EFAB style. So the first trick to do that is to actually think of a friend when you're writing the email. You can even you can even write it in your regular email application, however you write your emails, if that helps. If you really freeze up when you open your email system.
That's a great tip. Yeah.
Yeah, and just be like, put their name in it in the field and be like, what would I write? I always think of my friend Victoria because she loves to hear from me and she's always responds. And I'm like, what would I write to her? And like, she's the closest person in my life. I'm like, how would I write it to her? And I write it that way. And that really helps people. So I just got a huge influx of new subscribers from a Business Insider piece that came out last week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It got me 1,000 new subscribers, which is a whole other topic. And some of them are going to be great. They're going to be around for the long haul. Like, they're already engaging with me in the right way, and I can tell that these are my people. And then some are totally virgins to this little world, and they're confused. They're like, I have one email that asks them about themselves. I'm like, I tell in my welcome sequence, I tell a bunch of stuff about me, and I'm like, what about you? Tell me something about yourself. And someone wrote, like, you must have hundreds of people on your list. Why would you want to know about me?
Aww.
I'm like, oh, you thought it was just to you. And I have a couple other people saying, like, it's so nice of you to write to me. I don't know if this is a bot, but if it's not, thank you for emailing me. So you want to write emails so personable that people who don't get it, at least, feel like really think it's an email from you to them.
Oh, I love that example and that reminder and the tip to write it in your, say, Gmail account or whatever it may be, like you're writing to a friend. That's really amazing. I want to switch gears a little bit here because I want to ask you about your current business, because one of the things that I most admire about you is that you kind of do things on your terms. And I know that in the form you filled out for me, you talk about, I think you said it was like a couch entrepreneur or couch-driven business or something. I'd love to know more about that and the way in which you've designed a business that really fits your lifestyle and personality.
Yeah. Well, some businesses are data driven and some are purpose driven. I like to think of mine as couch driven because my whole life's purpose is basically to do as much from my couch that I possibly can. And I mean, it's not just about sitting on the couch and it's like terrible back support and my hip starts to hurt. But I really love the feeling of doing work that feels like just part of my life, like integrated with my life. Like I'm sitting on the couch in front of the TV. I usually have Bravo shows on. Right now I have nothing on it, just in case you saw my screen. But
Thanks.
But I really like to generate the feeling of I'm not really doing work. I'm just tooling around on my laptop and having fun. And I like to do work that feels that way, that doesn't generate anxiety, that feels natural to me. I try to attract clients who I love talking to anyway. I've raised my prices recently, mostly so that I can take clients just on one day a week. And so I only take clients on Wednesdays, and it's from like 12 to 4:30, after which I run off to dance class. And so something that makes me feel so good about my business is all the white space in my calendar. Like I'm a late sleeper. I like to get up when I want, not feel like, I have to get to work, but have a leisurely morning and do work that is for my business. I love writing my emails. I love writing blog posts. I love doing creative stuff that is reaching my audience. Going out to them, but it's not assigned to me by anyone but me. So that's become a big part of my business. I realize I don't like homework from other people. I don't like answering to people. I love my clients, but there is a little bit of a drain there. Like I feel like, I think it's my thing around appointments.
Yeah.
So I really try to limit appointments. Like I just love to wake up and see nothing on my calendar. It is my favorite kind of day. So that is the way I've arranged my business. And part of it is by making the most of my email list, like focusing my attention there. I love writing emails. So I've been thinking lately about how can I make more of my income just from writing my emails. And that's where I've been going.
Amazing. Well, I want to take a quick break and I want to dive into a few pieces there because what you said is so powerful and I think what a lot of people listening will resonate with. So we'll dive back in when we come back from the break.
Sounds good.
Hey everyone, it's Emily Williams and we're back with Laura Belgray on the I Heart My Life show. And before the break, Laura was telling us about her couch-driven business philosophy and what that really means. And I'm personally inspired because yesterday on one of our team meetings, I had my screen showing on Zoom and one of my team members was like, "Oh my God, your calendar gives me anxiety." And I realized how full it actually is. And I mean, part of that is me wanting to write every single thing on the calendar, whether it's personal or business, but it can be really overwhelming, especially for people just starting out feeling like they are working tons of hours. I know I've shared how much I was working in the beginning with you and you kind of fell off the chair. And so that's the reality for a lot of people. But I guess I'd love to understand how you got to this place. Did you always have this much freedom in the business or was it through deliberate creation of what you have now?
Really through deliberate creation. I've always priced myself pretty high. And so I could have done this sooner, but I felt like I don't like to turn down any work. If somebody tries to, if someone wants to book me who's not quite a fit, I'll try and discourage them. But otherwise, I'm like, sure, I'll take you on. Sure, I'll take you on. I don't like to turn down work. I don't like to say no to people. I don't like to say no to money. I love making money. It's from like TV networks too. That's kind of become a side gig, but like when they offer it to me, I'm like, sure, I'll take it. And I'd say last year, I blocked off Mondays and Fridays. I said, I have to do more work. I have to have a couple of days that are just creative. And where I don't feel like, oh, I wish the weekend were longer. I didn't have any time to rest. So I think I started off with just Mondays, and I'm like, oh my God, I love Mondays so much now. I'm going to do the same thing with Fridays. And it was a scary thing for me to do, to take those slots off my calendar for people to book. I was like, well, what if somebody needs a Friday? Like, what if they can't do it any other day? Then I'm going to lose that business. But I tried it anyway, and I'm like, well, I'm not losing any clients. I'm having the same number of clients. And so this year recently, I'm like, I love this so much. I love Mondays and Fridays so much. I'm going to make Tuesdays and Thursdays like those days. And it's a daring move for me, because like, now definitely people are going to be upset that they can't find a slot, that they have to wait. I'm going to lose some people. And I realized that's okay. And pretty much they're finding the slots on Wednesdays. If they really want to work with me, they'll find one and they'll wait.
And how did you find that you moved past any limiting beliefs? Because for a lot of people, that belief of, oh my goodness, they're going to move on to someone else, or they're going to be upset, that would have just kept them stuck. So what did you focus on in order to make that shift?
I think I focused on, there is always something else that I can and should be doing creatively besides working for clients. I'm like, so if I have a dead, like if everybody abandons me and stops coming to me as a client, first of all, I also have some other income streams. I'm like, so I can beef those up. I have the Copy Cure, and I've started doing affiliate marketing. I've started promoting friends' programs. I've always promoted B-School, but I really pumped that up. That's one way that I'm monetizing my email list. I'm like, these people want something from me, and I can give them these great programs. So that's one thing that I've done. So I don't have the panicky feeling of this is my only source of income. So that's one thing. But I also really felt like something else will come to take the place of whatever clients I lose, whether it's new clients or some other idea, or it'll create space for me to create something else that I really want to do. And I'm working on a book, so sometimes I feel like I would rather give up the money this week and have the time to work on my book. And I feel like I feel like I have the cushion to do that a little bit because I have other things coming in.
And would you say you also focused on that feeling and that desire that you were getting from Monday and Friday, and realized how important that was to your overall happiness?
Yes. And I realized my income has not gone down. It's only gone up since I blocked out Mondays and Fridays. So I'm like, why don't I do that with Tuesdays and Thursdays? And I did focus on the feeling of that. Like, I want that feeling all the time, and it'll make my client day so much more enjoyable, knowing it's this one day of the week, this one special day where I do talk to client after client. And I think the clients have been getting better. I'm getting more of my, more repeat people who I really love working with. And they've been filling up those days. And it's just easy.
Yeah.
When it's.
This is such a great reminder. And when I heard that you had raised your prices and that, you talk about the couch-driven business, I wondered, I was like, is she driven by money? Like, is that important to her? Because I think sometimes we think that you can't have both simultaneously. Like, you can't want a lot of free time and also want a lot of money, or want a lot of creative time and also want a lot of money. So I think it's so important for people to hear that, myself included.
Oh, yeah. And I think we, especially as women, make so much apologies about, in this little world, about wanting money. I love making money, and I like having lots of it. I don't like to fly coach, for one thing. I love to travel. I know you don't either.
No.
I hate coach. And so that's kind of my prize, my pie in the sky is a world where I don't have to fly coach ever, where I have not gotten to that level where I'm like, I'm going to book a trip to Australia and I don't have any miles, but I'm just going to pay for a first class ticket. That's like an enormous sum to me. I'd like to get to a place where it's not, where it's like, let's drop in the bucket. I know it's a terrible value, but That's what I want. So I love I love the feeling of making money. It's exciting to me. So I don't think we have to make any apologies for it. And I do think you can have a creative life and make money from it.
Amazing. I love everything that you just shared. And I think so many people need to hear that, especially a lot of the women listening. And I know for me, just thinking about business class, it's especially when you're traveling that far, I believe like those seats are there for a reason. You know, why not us? We are business owners. Who do we think business class is for?
That's a good point. I'm a business owner. I belong in business class.
Yeah.
So
Why not? Amazing. So I'd love to hear, I normally ask this on every single show. I'd love to hear what you're excited about right now and what's up and coming for you in your business.
At the risk of repeating myself, I'm really excited about email.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to have found my groove with my audience and feel like I always have something to say to them. Even, I used to think, oh, I don't have anything to say to them this week. There's always something to say to them. They're waiting for me to say something. So it doesn't have to be big and epic. It doesn't have to be super important. It can just be some nugget, anything that happened to me or whatever.
I want to pause you there. So all the I Heart My Lifers listening, like you just said, Laura, this is so important. It doesn't have to be big and epic. They're just waiting for you to say something and connect. That's huge.
Exactly. Like anything you can say that makes them say, oh my gosh, me too. Or I hadn't thought of it that way. Or like, yeah, like I also tripped on the street this week. I also feel that burn in my face when I trip. Like anything that you can send to them that makes them feel connected and gives them a little joy maybe in their inbox is worth sending. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about, I'd say, getting myself out there more. I've been working with our friend Selena Sue, and she's been pushing me to guest post more, and also my dear friend Susie Moore, who I know you've also interviewed. She's always pushing me to guest post more and be on more podcasts and stuff like that, and be more findable. Because I think we all know that feeling when we stumble across someone or someone recommends somebody or something that we wouldn't have found otherwise. It's like, oh my God, I'm so happy I found this. So happy I found this person, or I'm so happy I found this restaurant, or I'm so happy I found this book. And so I want to give people the pleasure of finding me, people who would otherwise not have found me. So
and isn't that sometimes the best motivation? Because sometimes we can get so in our head and like we think about the money and the business class and whatever. But really, a lot of why we're doing what we're doing is to help other people. And we can only help them if they know we exist.
Yeah, right. And they're not going to, like, it can feel embarrassing or show offy to promote yourself.
Yeah.
It is important to remember somebody out there needs to find you and will be so glad that they did. All because you posted something or said something or got yourself out there.
Exactly. What are you excited about in your personal life?
In my personal life? Well, this is also business, but I have my Italy writing workshop coming up this summer. This is like the third annual. It might be the final annual because it might just feel complete. But we do it in Rio Maggiore. I do it in partnership with Bianca from a company called Italian Fix. ItalianFix.com. And so I love doing that. I have friends coming on it this year who are really fun, and it's going to be great. And then I'm traveling with my husband. He's going to meet me afterwards, and we're going to travel either in Italy or in Ibiza. Because he's got a restaurant project there. And then we have a wedding in Capri, where I think you've been. Have you been there?
We're going this summer, actually. I've been to Positano, but yeah, we're going in July. Might see you.
Maybe we'll be there at the same time. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that.
Can people still sign up for the workshop?
They can. I think there are a few spots left, actually. And it is such a fun time and so creative, and gets people thinking about, it's not just copywriting, it's creative writing and it's creative copywriting. So anything that you want to write for your business or yourself, it's a great place to work on it and improve it and get new ideas and get inspired.
Oh, amazing. Final question for you before we tell people how they can find you. I'd love
Sure.
to know how you've created a life that's better than your dreams and how you would recommend other people do the same.
I really think the internet is the most amazing thing. I think it is incredible that we can have a business that lets us work from anywhere. And it might be a cliche, though, like you can work from, you can work from the beach, you can work from your couch, you can work in your pajamas. But it is incredible to me that I have this business where I'm not answering to anyone but me. Like I've only lasted in a 9-to-5 job for 6 months. That is the longest I've lasted in a regular corporate 9-to-5 job. I'm not built for that world. And I used to think, oh no, to be successful, I'm going to have to show up at 9 and work late and become a manager and then become a director and then I didn't want to be someone's boss except for mine. I didn't want to get to a place at 9 or 10 or 11 or even 12. I like answering to me and I like waking up when I want. And so it thrills me every day. Like, I can't believe I make a living writing and setting my own hours, and I don't have to leave the house if I don't want to. So
and it's possible for anyone.
It really is. It's like an incredible thing. I see people do it all the time, and they're not like, everybody is special, but in the other sense, they're not anything special.
Right, exactly. Thank you for that reminder. So where can people find you online?
My main digital home is talkingshrimp.com. You can come there and you'll find all different freebies. I have a guide to non-sucky copy, 5 tips for non-sucky copy that you'll see right away on the homepage. We were talking about subject lines. You can also go to talkingshrimp.com/subject lines, and you'll find a sign up there if you want to get my 33 most opened subject lines and some templates to write your own non-sucky ones. I'm into Instagram, as we talked about. So if you want to find me there, go to, my handle is Talking Shrimp NYC. Somebody else took Talking Shrimp, believe it or not.
Wow. People can watch all your dancing videos.
Yes, they can. You can watch me sweat I like to say like a pig is unfair to pigs because pigs don't sweat.
I'm the same. The first date that James and I had, it was along the river in London. It was like 90 degrees in the summer. And I showed up and I was like, I'm sorry, I sweat a lot. That was like literally what I said to him when I first met him. And so he never lets me live that down.
That's hilarious. I realize now how much my husband liked me when we first met, because I remember taking a long walk and running into him when I'd just recently met him. And I was like, oh, I'm a little sweaty. And he's like, no, I like it. It's cute. And now he's like, ugh, don't even come near me with that sweat on you. Like, he hates it. So I also, we went out for sushi and I cut it with a knife and fork. And now I realize he must have really liked me because nothing makes him sadder, more depressed than the way sushi.
That's so funny. Hilarious. Well, before we sign off, I just wanted to thank you because you're actually one of the reasons why I had the confidence to do the I Heart My Life show. Because a few years ago, you were nice enough to be a guest on one of my first group programs, and I got to interview you all about copy, and afterwards you said, oh my gosh, you're such a great interviewer. And I don't know if you meant it or not, I'm sure, thank you. But it really gave me so much confidence to do things like this going forward, and even when I got approached for this opportunity by America Out Loud, I was really just on the fence about it, but I kept hearing you say that I was a good interviewer, and that gave me so much confidence. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
You really are. I had so much fun in this interview. I feel like you ask the right questions. You make me feel comfortable. You make me feel like me, which is everything I want. So thank you. Yeah, you keep going. You're so good.
Thanks, Laura. So for everyone listening, you know where to find Laura. She has some amazing gifts for you. The subject lines opt-in, the non-sucky copy opt-in. You may even be able to go to Italy with her. So definitely check her out. And again, Laura, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. This is so fun.
And for everyone listening, remember you too can create a life that's better than your dreams. All you have to do is start and take action starting today. So until next time, I'm Emily Williams, the founder of I Heart My Life, and this is the I Heart My Life show. And I'll see you very soon with a brand new episode. Bye. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at I Heart My Life Now. And did you know I'm on the radio every single day? Visit americaoutloud.com to download the Talk Radio app so you can tune in at 8 a.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. GMT.